existing stream will be retained and a park connector running along the length of the site planted up. This green space will be more than 5 times what was originally planned. But with significant construction required, one expert says steps will need to be taken to safeguard what nature remains during the process.
Noise would be one potential impact, especially construction noise. Then the question is there a time of day where wildlife, for example, is maybe more sensitive to this noise or more sensitive to light? Try to minimize those impacts, or maybe stop the work at a certain time, just when wildlife are starting to stir.
The first public housing projects here will be launched in the second half of 2022.
Okay, so students, what we have done is that we have seen 2 videos. All right, so over this part on the activity, we need everybody to read through the 6 activities. Just read very quickly. Okay, on rental housing, nature reserve, the village cinema, okay, Sunshine Hospice, Hindu Temple Research Hub. Okay, so students, just read through very quickly. And, just come up with 1 or 2 reasons. Which of these will you sacrifice? This is a hypothetical scenario. You will sacrifice rental housing, nature reserve, cinema, Sunshine Hospice, Hindu, or research hub in order, all right, to build a new MRT station. So it's a hypothetical scenario given to you. Okay, you need to have a piece of land, all right, to build a new MRT station. Which will you sacrifice? Which of the 6? Okay, I'll just give you 1 minute. 1 minute to read through very quickly, and I'll just call up 1 or 2 students for every group. Okay, so I'll just go group by group. Okay, so when I call your name, simply just select any one of the 6 and just come up with your own reasons. Why do you choose this one site out of 6, right, for a hypothetical scenario here to build MRT station? Okay. So students, I'll give you 1 minute or so to make up your decision. Hello? Okay, students, will just I'll just call a few students, but I think, to be fair, I would like every group to be represented. Okay, so it's very simple. I'll just select some names. Okay, I'll just select some names. Usually I like to select those who had been late before. If you have been late in earlier lessons, I'm going to call you as well. Okay, students who have been late in earlier lessons, all right, so that you will not choose to be late. All right, so we'll just go by the students' opinions. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong answer. Just switch on your mic. That's all. Okay, not necessarily switch on video. Right. Which one of the 6, right, do you choose here as a trade-off? Right, in order for you to build an MRT station, you need a new piece of land. So give us the reason why you choose this particular one. Okay, so as I said, I'll call students who had previously been late in earlier dates, in October, November, or December. Okay, we'll just start off with, I would say maybe Carrie. Carrie, are you on the line? Just switch on your mic and share the class your opinions. Carrie Chua of EE, are you on the line? Please switch on the mic and share the opinions with your class. Carrie,
Hi.
so which one of the 6 do you choose? And just give your own reasons. There is no right or wrong answer for this. Which one of the 6
Sorry,
do you
what's
choose?
the question again?
Hello, Carrie.
Sorry, what's the question again?
Yes, you're supposed to answer which one of these 6 do you choose, right? And then what is your reason for sacrificing this site to build an MRT station?
I feel like I would choose the third one, the village cinema.
Okay, that's a good choice. So please share the class your reasons for doing that.
Because it's like, I feel like it's the least important the least important for everybody one, so it's the easiest to sacrifice.
Okay, so then maybe I'll just add on. You think that maybe entertainment is not important? Perhaps you can do with Netflix at home or YouTube. Then, in your opinion, which one is the most important that cannot be sacrificed if you need to rank it?
The fifth one,
Okay, so why is that so?
because that one is like other people's religion, so
Okay, so you don't want to. You think it's important that they have a place of worship for every week?
yeah.
All right, thank you very much to Carrie. We'll move on to the next student. Can we have maybe Edward? Edward New, are you there? Edward, just switch on your mic.
Yep. Hello.
Yeah, so Edward, just share your opinions. Which will you select? Just give your reasons.
I will also replace the village seminar. The
Okay.
village cinema
Yes,
because like you have like Netflix and or Disney Plus now, and so like I think going to the cinema is a bit like not say useless, but it's like less. It's like less like what Kerry said, less important now.
Okay, what if they change their decision and they need 2 pieces of land, 2 plots of land, and you need a second choice? So what's your second choice? They need more land to build the MRT.
Wow. I think I choose the nature reserve.
Okay, reason being?
Because the rest I feel is pretty important in Singapore. And then number 2 is, although we are facing like climate change now, I think if you really need the land, then it's okay to take some, I guess.
Okay, so do you agree with the Dover Reserve final decision? They will take about one third to half of the reserve. Do you agree with that decision?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. So for your case, in Edward's case, just to let the whole class know as well, the constructions for the HDB flats for Dover Forest actually starts in the middle of 2022, so it's quite fast. I'll say it's quite fast. Consultations were done last year. Thank you very much to Edward. Can I actually call Wei Feng? Wei Feng, yeah, can you give us your opinions? Lim Wei Feng, yeah, just switch on your mic and share your opinions with us. Lim Wei Feng. Yeah, which one do you choose to sacrifice or which 2? And then just give your reasons. Okay, and if you need a second one, then which one will you choose to sacrifice? Okay, very good. So you give us your reasons why the cinema and the rental housing. Okay. For the rental housing here, then, where would you intend to shift the tenants? I mean, they tend to be low-income families, so where do you intend to shift them? Okay, do you have in your mind that, for the piece of land with the MRT station over here, actually we can build new flats, right? We can build new flats. Well, so maybe there's a possibility if any of the low-income families can be shifted around within the estate. They can shift to an old block, and some of the residents of the old blocks can be relocated. It's possible, actually. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wei Feng. Okay, the next person I'm going to call, maybe let's look at, let's call a girl. Ellen Tay, are you there, Ellen? Ellen Tay Shi Yi.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Ellen, so just give some comments. Like which site is the least important to you, which was the most important? And can you just give some reasons?
I think the least important would be like what everyone chose, the cinema one. And then the most important would I think the nature reserve one. Because I think like at least for Singapore we have already taken enough of like the wildlife away with like man-made stuff. So I think should preserve that.
Okay, do you find it's important to reverse climate change? You think if we become a concrete jungle, that might aggravate climate change?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, instead of just like taking the land to build over it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much, students, for all the comments. All right. So in this chapter here on trade-offs, actually, or depending, there's the same issue that actually pop up at the McRitchie Reservoir Nature Reserve. Students, those of you who are in the news, it's actually called a cross island line. Okay. So for the cross island line that undergoes the McRitchie Reservoir Nature Reserve, not the Dover Forest. Dover Forest is very near between Ngee Ann and Singapore Poly. But for the MacRitchie one, it seems like they have a few decisions. They can go underground. Okay, they can go underground. They can also go around the perimeter of MacRitchie Reservoir, but that will lengthen the time. They are looking at a direct train line from either Bishan Marymount to Toa Payoh, around that area, Thomson possibly. Okay, possibly Thomson, Marymount or Bishan. From that area, a direct train line towards Clementi MRT station is what they call a cross island line. They're going to take at least 5 years or more for that. Okay, so there's a lot of social media backlash, environmentalist groups, nature groups, they're not happy. They're not happy with the fact that this line has to cut through the nature reserve at the MacRitchie Reservoir in particular. Okay, so 3 options for them. Would they go underground? That would greatly increase the cost of tunneling. For any of the MRT lines to go underground, the cost and the funding is a lot more expensive, right? Almost, I'm not sure how many times more, but multiples of times more expensive than to build a line over land. Another way is to go around the perimeter, but as a passenger, as a commuter, you find that you take extra time. You take extra time to travel between Clementi towards Thomson, Marymount, Bishan. Okay, and of course, the third choice, which the nature reserves groups, they are just not happy with it, is to just cut through the nature reserve. Okay, so it's interesting. So that's interesting. Keep your eyes out in the news just to see how they're going to build this particular line. But as a commuter, those of you who take the MRT trains, if you stay in the Thomson area, Thomson, Bishan, Toa Payoh, just anywhere in the north. If you're a Ngee Ann student, and you stay anywhere in the north, you really wish you had this line today, all right? But unfortunately, it's for your juniors. They're looking at a minimum 5 years, right? Minimum 5 years or more. Some even say 7, 8 years to build this line, but it's critical. I think many Singaporeans feel that it's critical. Even with the circle line now, it doesn't meet the needs of many commuters that goes around in the circle. Okay, students, the time check is about 8:30. Okay, so we will not play this game. You may want to try this out on your own. All right, because we want to go straight for your PowerPoint and your team task log that is due next week. All right, it's due next week. A lot of you start your presentations next week. So for this game, it's quite time consuming. I have played it in earlier classes. You may just want to play that on your own. Okay, so this chapter is about trade-offs, right? And what we did last week is that we also met DPM Heng Swee Keat over here, All right, last week's video was the first Monday of January, and if you actually look at the news for this year 2022, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong actually was the one who made the announcement on the impending GST hike again. It was in the Straits Times and Channel News Asia on 31st December and 1st January. 31st December and 1st January. So, the reaction from the ground was like, oh, spoil our new year. What a bad start to a new year. But Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong made the announcement because TPM Heng Swee Keat, he has relinquished his portfolio. He's no longer the finance minister currently. As of today, all right, please be aware, our finance minister is Mr. Lawrence Wong. Mr. Lawrence Wong, who co-chairs the COVID task force, is currently our finance minister. But DPM Heng Swee Keat at this point, where he made these announcements, they claim that was since 2018, I believe so. He was holding the portfolio of the finance minister. Okay, also students, just to let you have a sense of current affairs, anyone who holds the finance portfolio in the Singapore cabinet, all right, is often touted to be the next prime minister in line. Okay, so the fact that Heng Swee Keat has stepped down, and currently Mr. Lawrence Wong is holding the finance portfolio. What it means, students, that there is a chance that Mr. Lawrence Wong will actually succeed our Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong as the next PM. Okay, as you know, PM Lee wanted to step down, right, due to his age, but because of COVID, he's still very actively involved in the day-to-day running. Okay, so we covered this for last Monday, and then today the two videos on the Dover Forest over here. Okay, so now what we do is that just a recap, we want to go straight to the PowerPoint, and can we have all groups to show me your PowerPoint, just the skeletal part. Okay, the skeletal part of it, please upload it. Okay, all groups, please upload into your breakout screens, right? But breakout group, but don't go in breakout. Okay, do not go into breakout. What I'm saying is that for each group, okay, can you upload? If you didn't combine yet, it's fine. All right, and of course, upload into your breakout group either under post or files, either under post, POST, or files. Can we have your PowerPoint there? Okay, some groups have already combined. Some groups you have not yet combined. Okay, so it can be a link. Some of you provide a link, right? Some of you actually upload the entire file. So it's really up to you. And again, students, after today's class, as you know, I need to go off for the my next 10 o'clock class, right? So after today's class, please make sure your group meets for minimum half an hour, just to sort out certain things. Okay, why do I say minimum half an hour? You may even need to meet 45 minutes. There is also a second item. Okay, so besides the PowerPoint, okay, as I repeat again, all groups, make sure your PowerPoint, I know it's half done, or 1/3 done, or 3/4 done. I do not know. Okay, it's half done, 1/3 done, 3/4 done. Please upload your PowerPoint right now over here into your breakout team. Either you post it or it's in a file. It's either or. Okay, you post it or in a file so that I can take a look. Of course, I'll be sharing with you further. On the other samples that were done in previous years. Second file that you must not forget, okay, is this part. Okay, please make sure I can view the draft of it. I need to see the draft of this particular team task log, okay, from all groups. Again, please put it into your breakout room. Put in your breakout room, well, you have two choices. It can be a link. It can be a link that I can click on just to see your draft. It's not complete, never mind. I expect at least 2/3 done or 3/4 done. I did tell you all, try your best to complete last week. So for your group meeting later on, at 10, I assume you meet at 10:05. Okay, make sure this document is 100% done. Now, for your class, right, you need to sign on it. Okay, there's this part for your signature. Let me show you. Okay, please insert your name or your signature. Signature, it can be a graphic file, that means you sign, okay, you sign on an image file and then you just import the image. Okay, sign on the image file and import the image. You all know, right? Just insert picture, insert image. It's an image of your signature, but if you cannot do it, you can type your name using an interesting font. Just change. For example, if my name is Adeline, okay, you can just type it, right, and use an interesting font. For example, okay, so it's up to you. I mean, this part is not important. It's not important, but don't leave out. Okay, it's very critical. You can do things like this. Okay, so use a very interesting font and just type your name in. This is fine as well. You can do this as well, students. Okay, there are many ways. All right, so make sure that when I click around, okay, so I think I will start off with showing you the past year's sample again. I think I can show you something different. That's something different from last week. All right, so these are past year samples, and then later I will come to every group. Okay, so every group, make sure that I can see your team task log. When it's ready, okay, it should look something like this. I think a lot of you had samples last week already. It should look something like this. Seriously, it should look something like this. At least it's 3/4 done, half done, 3/4 done. Okay, for today's meeting, when you meet your teammates, okay, when you meet your teammates is to complete this. Okay, fully complete it, just put everything to 100%. You are trying to submit this, is worth 5 marks. Okay, so don't delay. You have not much time, student. After today, you have 7 days. You become a James Bond 007 agent. Okay, James Bond 007 agent, you have 7 days to submit. Let's look at our timeline. Let's look at our timeline again. Okay, so let's emphasize to every student in this class, if you actually look at the timeline again, right, next week, Monday is 17. Okay, so 17 is the date that the staff room wants your work to actually reach mail. Okay, so in a very ideal situation, your group leader will actually upload next week, Monday 17, into mail during the class time. There is no more teaching after today, students. After today, right, there is totally no more teaching. All right, the 2 hours next week is dedicated to presentation. So for all these students over here, okay, you can see over here, starting from Doreen, okay, all the way down, you are presenting next week. Okay, so Doreen and Shan, Joey, Wei Feng, Li Qing, all right, together all the way, Gladys, Malika, Edward, Joanna, okay, Effa, Maxwell, Adeline, Phyllis, your presentation is actually next week, 7 days from now. Okay, but I actually want to speak to these students over here. You can see from Muhammad, Safiq, okay, Zhirong, Carrie, Wei Jie, Yi Wei, right, Julian, Hugo, Elson, Jingwen, and Anton, right, your presentation, although your presentation is 24th. 24th is next Monday, right, you cannot miss the mail deadline of 17. The mail deadline, 17 January, next Monday. It applies to every student in this class, regardless what is your presentation date. Okay, and that means for Safiq, Zhirong, Carrie, Wei Jie, Yi Wei, all the way down, Julian, Hugo, okay, Elson, Jingwen, and Anton, your PowerPoint together with your team task log, these are 2 items. These 2 items, it must also reach mail on 17. Okay, your PowerPoint, combined PowerPoint, and your team task log, it must reach your PowerPoint, it must reach mail, okay, on 17 January morning. Now your class is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So it depends. If your group is ready, please have the group leader upload it 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. But if somehow somebody not ready, okay, if somebody not ready, I extend for you until lunchtime. Lunchtime meaning by 12 noon. Okay, by 12 noon, please make sure it's inside of mail. Okay, by 12 noon, make sure it's inside of mail. As I repeat again, the staff room is very strict. They will minus your marks for late penalty. The late penalty starts. Okay, when does the late penalty start? Okay, for your class, the staff room impose late penalty 17 January Monday night. Okay, I repeat, 17 January Monday night. If your group is crazy, clueless, careless, forgotten, if your mail is empty, if your mail is still empty on 17 January Monday night, the staff room will just proceed directly to minus off your marks. And they do that every 24 hours. Okay, every 24 hours, they just minus off your marks until your whole group gets 0, then you fail. Fail the module, that means repeat. Repeat is not funny, students. When you repeat this module next year, April to August. So next year, National Day, you're still stuck inside this module. Why? Because your group didn't clear the PowerPoint. Okay, so if you're in my class, I won't allow it to happen. All right, if you're in my class, all right, I will call you on a Monday afternoon. I'm already seeing you Monday morning. I'll say, even if you are not ready, your group leader will press upload. Okay, I will just say that even if you are not ready, your group leader will just go ahead and upload. So please aim for 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. right? But if you can't, then please do it by 12 noon. Okay, by 12 noon, 12:30 p.m. literally lunchtime. Are there any questions, student? Are there any questions? If not, I just want to show you the PowerPoint of last year. Okay, from last year I show you PowerPoint. Then, okay, while I'm showing you the PowerPoint from last year, okay, I expect that someone in your group, okay, please upload. Either I have a link in your breakout room, I have a link that I can click, or you actually uploaded a certain file. Some groups, they prefer to upload a file. That is fine as well. I'm totally fine with that. Some groups, they upload a file. I'm totally fine with that. Okay, so it can be a PowerPoint file, right, and a MS Word. Okay, so 2 documents. Every group, when I come back, okay, around 9 o'clock, I hope to see, okay, in your group, you have a PowerPoint file, you have a team task log. All right, it is also possible to give me a link. That is fine as well. So this looks like a PowerPoint. For this group, Saffron, Carrie, Vijay's group, Safiq, Zerong, make sure your team task log is somewhere. I don't know where you all hide your team task log. Maybe it's here lah. Okay. For this group, Effa, Maxwell, Ellen, make sure I can see something. Edward, this one. For this group, Edward, Gladys, Joanna, and Malika, please upload your PowerPoint, either a link or the PowerPoint file. Okay, I'll come back to you all in half an hour. Okay, Doreen, Yanshan, this group, I think it's here lah. I'll take a look. Hugo, Elson, Julian, Anton, Jingwen, I think it's inside, I suspect. They put everything inside. Okay, so students, I tell you what, let me try to just show you some files from last year again. Okay, and also just want to emphasize on this part. Okay, I just go through the instructions again. This is from last week already. For the first 5 marks, okay, the expectation is that before your 4 to 5 countries, all right, before your 4 to 5 countries appear and your 4 to 5 flags, okay, just give me, by the way, I better tell this group of students, I want to talk to Julian, Elson, Jingwen, and Anton. Julian, Elson, Jingwen, Anton. I just want to let you know, your classmate Hugo, I've called him like a million times today. He's not in class, okay? I'll just let you know that. Okay? Hugo, are you in class now, Hugo? I think he's now in class. Hugo, can you switch on your mic? Are you in class now?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Hugo, I put you as present and late. Final warning, you need to come in at 8:00, okay? Come in at 8:00. Okay, final warning, I put here as present and late, okay, together inside MPEL, present and late. Okay, you have to come in 8:00. Okay, so I'll put you present late. Okay, so students, we are over here. All right, 4 to 5 country flags, but don't forget something. Right, last year the staff room asked me to actually deduct some marks. Right, they asked me to minus marks. From some groups, even quite hardworking, is that they before the 4 to 5 country flag, right, they did not explain the SDG. It's compulsory. Okay, you must have 1 slide. You must have minimum 1 slide. 1 slide is enough. Explain what is your SDG even before your country flags appear. Before your country flags appear, is there 1 flag? 1 slide. So all groups, if you don't have, please do it immediately. So for example, if you look at here, this on gender. Okay, before the gender, before the countries appear, okay, they have 1 slide here on gender equality. You can see over here, this slide number 3. Okay, slide number 3 here on gender equality. So this is critical. If you don't have this, the staff room already said minus marks already. All groups cannot forget. Okay, I know you're very excited. So you have your name, right? Your 4 to 5 names. You have 4 to 5 country flags. Where is your SDG? Minimum 1 slide. Please explain. Okay, gender equality, what does it refer to? Empowerment of women and girls. All right, ensure representation of women and so on. Okay, let me show you another one. Okay, for this class, besides gender, we also have responsible consumption. Responsible consumption, if you actually look over here before the countries appear, okay, before the countries appear, there's at least one slide here. What is responsible consumption all about? What is responsible consumption all about? Okay, at least one slide here. Okay, now the next thing, of course, is that let's show another group on poverty. In this class today, okay, in this class today, we have three kinds of topics, right? We have 10 students in poverty, we have 10 students in responsible consumption, we have about 5 students in gender. Okay, so I will rotate now from now until 10 o'clock. Okay, I will rotate among these three topics: poverty, okay, responsible consumption, recycling on plastics, water conservation, electrical conservation, and then on gender. So for the poverty group, all right, before Afghanistan, India, Yemen, Myanmar, okay, what do you have before the country? You have at least one slide to explain what is no poverty all about. This part you don't have to think too hard. Okay, it's under the United Nations SDG. You can even get from my Excel. And where did my Excel come from? This whole part actually comes from assessment 2. If you look at your essay November essay assessment 2, right? They actually explain to you. Okay, November essay assessment 2. Another way, it goes straight to United Nations website. Okay, even this group you all can see. Okay, so final call, students, I repeat, if your group didn't do it, okay, it must be done by today. You insert the slide in today. Any group, crazy, you come out with your 5 countries, your name, you don't have a single slide. Poverty, you didn't explain. Responsible consumption, you didn't explain. Or gender equality, you didn't explain. I guarantee you, the staff room will just go ahead and minus off your marks. Okay? Now the next one, okay, so I emphasize on certain things first that cater to all group. Okay, so I expect to see here poverty, there are 8 students. Responsible consumption, I expect to see. Okay, students, of course, I think you should be taking some photographs. Please take some photographs, students, so that, when you go out into your breakout rooms, you have more things to do, more things to say. Okay, right. So here, as you can see here, students, this is another one, right? Before the country appear responsible consumption, please explain properly. What is responsible consumption? Promote what are the goals? Okay, and so on. Before the country, final call already, students. I repeat twice. Okay, your group don't do, sorry, later you cannot ask me, why we didn't get A, why we didn't get B plus, how come my group get C plus? Things like that, we repeat so many times. You don't want to do, nobody can do for you. It takes you 3 minutes, I'm not kidding you, or 4 minutes. Takes you 3 or 4 minutes to come up with a slide like that. Right? You can even do it as I'm talking. Now the next thing I want all groups to check. Students, as I'm talking to you, I hope you're checking. Any groups until now, you don't have references. You don't have references, let me tell you something. Okay, they want to give you a D grade. The staff room is very, very strict. Okay, staff room, they come out with all these kind of things. These are the instructions from the staff room. If you don't give references, okay, I think they are threatening you with a D grade. Grade D for donkey, D for Denmark. Anybody wants to get D grade in this class? No, right? I know all of you want to get AD. How I wish I can also give you AD, A distinction. Okay, how I wish I can give you A distinction, but it's beyond my control. Let me explain. Students, grades like A distinction, whether you're aware or not, is actually given out by the computer server. Computer server will churn about 2,000 students or 1,800 students. Okay, 1,800 to 2,000 students, right, in one semester. 1 year in this module, there are about 3,500 to 4,000 students. Whether you get grade A distinction or not, sometimes your lecturer don't even know. Only the module leader will know. And it's given to the top 5%. The top 5% of the 2,000 students, right? Or the top 5% of the 1,800 students. So your lecturer may or may not know because only the module leader will know, right? And in this module, there are about 40 lecturers, a very big module. Okay, so certain things like A distinction is given by the server. The server will just rank all these 2,000 students and cut off at about 5% consistently. Okay, so in some years, so the marks can be quite high in different modules, different time, different semester, different. Sometimes you need 88 marks to get A distinction. Sometimes you need 83. Sometimes you need 85. It's quite different. Okay, now, so final call. Anybody in this class want to get D for Denmark, D for donkey? I'm sure you don't. So, staff room said already. compulsory, okay? And I'm telling you, maybe I take a photo, right? Compulsory. Okay, have I taken a photo? Maybe I take, okay, hang on. Okay, what else is compulsory? Maybe I should take a photo over here and send it to you. Okay, hang on. So besides references, any group that don't have, okay, you better insert now already. Right, insert now. If you still don't want to do it, then it's quite scary. Okay, so each slide must have speaker notes. They also say here, compulsory. Okay, can? Over here, anybody want to get D for Denmark or not? You don't want? Make sure your group has reference list. Okay, so I just put here compulsory. Please go and check, students. Can you take 1 minute, go and check? Does your group have the reference list or not? Okay, let me send you all this photo. When I send you this photograph, what am I doing? In a way, is to protect myself. Okay, once I send you this photo, okay, what do I mean by protect myself? That means students cannot tell me, say, hey, madam, we're not aware. It's already out in the staff room email. This is email, all right, and it's also in your MS team. And moreover, I WhatsApp to your class now. Okay, so it's email, is in your MS team, so I WhatsApp to you. Okay, so speaker notes over here, students, is a must. They didn't say optional. Speaker notes, I'm afraid some of you have forgotten. They said must, no. Did the staff room say optional or must? They said must. Okay, all right. Then the late submission penalty over here. Okay, speaker notes, can you all please go and WhatsApp each other? I know all of you have a five-person WhatsApp. Okay, do me a favor. Okay, I'm sending this to you so none of you can escape, and none of you after this, you cannot say, oh, I'm not aware. I'm totally unaware of all these requirements. I send to your whole class right now. Just give me a minute. Okay, so in your 5-person WhatsApp, can you all please send out reference list. Reference is a must. Okay, references is a must. Don't have, the whole group will get D for Denmark, D for donkey. Every slide must have speaker notes. Okay, every slide must have speaker notes. Please go and message out. And then your deadline, don't miss. Your deadline is next week. Please send in your message as well. The deadline is 7 days from now. Okay, so referencing, right? Just to inspire, it looks like this. No need to go by name. You can combine all your references. Okay, it should be at least 3 slides, minimum 3 slides. Okay, please take a photo here. Minimum 3 slides under referencing. You can combine 5 of you, 6 of you, or just combine inside here. All right, some of you go by name. Well, that is possible as well. Not necessary lah. Not necessary, but it's possible as well. Okay. Okay. So what is the next one? Is that just now when I said speaker notes, right? What is it? Some student ask, what are speaker notes? It's actually like this. It can be just 1 or 2 sentences. Okay. For some groups, it's very detailed, right? Over here, why is so detailed? For most groups, the 4 flags, the speaker notes are very detailed. Why? The reason is that it comes from your November essay. In November, all of you have written an essay that's 500 words, right? What were my instructions from last week? I said, open up your essay, open up your 500 words. All you have to do is to copy and paste over your countries, right? Of course, you cannot squeeze 500 here. Please press your delete button. Press your delete button. I feel that's not necessary to, type too much, especially for the first 4 countries. So these are your speaker notes, but sometimes it can be quite short. Some students, they panic, right? If they panic and they forgot about the speaker notes, it's very simple, students. Just copy out 1 sentence. Copy out 1 sentence from your slide and paste below. It's that simple. I repeat. Okay, there's no need to panic. If you've forgotten about your speaker notes, just take 1 sentence from the front, 1 sentence, copy and paste. Okay, so speaker notes is just please remind each other. Remind each other. Students, you work as a team. Sometimes your class, your teammate forget. There's only 5 of you. There are only 4 of you, right? So remind each other as a team. Hey, you forgot your speaker notes. You just tell them, hey, please copy and paste. Okay, if I've forgotten, I just take copy and paste. This one's on responsible consumption. Okay, so speaker notes, I said so many times already. If you still don't do it, all right, your whole group gets into very serious trouble. Okay, so I repeat my last few points. Number one, any group you don't have references, I guarantee you grade D. Grade D for Denmark. Any group don't have references, you know what's your grade already. Don't have to ask me, hey man, how did we do? Grade D, why your group didn't submit references at all? Okay, this must open up your group slides right now and have the header in. How you ensure your group don't forget? Header go in first. Once your header in as references, your group will not forget. Next thing, okay, as I repeat just now, where is your SDG slide? Summary before your countries, before your summary of the countries, where is this slide? On your responsible consumption, otherwise poverty or gender. Where is it? Okay, final call already repeated so many times until I don't want to repeat anymore. Okay, third thing, so that's second thing already. First thing, references, check. Actually, you all can check now. No? If you're a fast student, as I'm teaching you, go and check. What are you waiting for, right? You say, wait, now you forget. Go check now. Next thing, where is your slide? If this slide is missing on SDG, you insert the empty slide with the header. Once you insert the empty slide with the header, your team will not forget. Next thing, just now I was talking to you on speaker notes. Okay, speaker notes, even some of them are very cute. Good morning, what's my name? Okay, so speaker notes, as you can see, this part over here, get from your essay. Go and get from your essay, right? Get from your essay. After that, it can be things like this. Even one sentence, it counts, you know, okay? So just don't leave blank, don't leave blank. One sentence is better than nothing. One sentence is better than nothing. Okay, the next thing that I hope that every group you will have, okay, will actually be, I would say, you quote somebody important. You quote someone important, whether it's your member of parliament, or whether it's the president of Aware for Gender, right? A particular minister, a member of parliament, okay, a CEO or CFO or a spokesperson. Someone it is in the news. Like earlier on, you actually saw the other group. They actually quoted Minister Minister for Environment and Water Resources, Masagov Zulkifli. All right, it's actually good to quote someone. Okay, so as I repeat, can be a minister in charge of the ministry, can be a CEO of NParks, it depends. It can be the president of Aware organization. Okay, so it may or may not be a minister, right? But someone who has said something in the news, and sometimes you can just quote one sentence. Mr. Masagos, what did he say? Okay, he said that, okay, most of the ash and solid waste are transported to Semakau landfill. Interesting. So make effort to have a celebrity figure or a politician or your, you know, it can even be your prime minister, or it can even be United Nations chief. Did he make a comment on climate change? Did he make a comment on gender inequality? Did he make a comment on poverty? Okay, so it can be somebody outside of Singapore as well, but usually we want somebody within Singapore, because you notice 80% of your slides, 90% of your slides is based on Singapore. Your whole PowerPoint is based on Singapore, except the first few slides on the country. Okay, only the first few slides on the country is based externally. Majority of your PowerPoint is based in Singapore. Okay, but towards the ending, some of the Superman, what are your nickname? Your nickname is Troublemaker. All right, first two students Troublemaker, third, fourth, fifth student Superman. Sometimes they will copy some ideas from other country. That's fine. So let's have someone you quote, okay, from Singapore, within Singapore, celebrity figure, member of parliament, something that they say regarding responsible recycling, reduction of poverty, how you help poor families, and gender. The next thing that I hope all group has, some kind of statistics. Statistics are very, very important. I repeat, statistics, figures, number, pie chart, bar chart, informational graphic is very, very important. It's important, right? Whether it's for gender, to show that the women earn less, right? Gender inequality, there are less women fully employed in the workforce. There are more women in low-paid job, right? Women have lower CPF savings. There are so many things you can show for women. For poverty, right? Which are the families that earn below 999 a month? How many of them, right? Who are the people facing poverty? Is it those unemployed, or those are retrenched PMET? Those are unemployed. You know, those who work part-time. When you work part-time, sometimes they have health issues. And they work part-time, right? Because they are not able to take on a full-time job. Okay, so we need statistics from all groups. Of course, we need pictures and so on. Okay, now I'll tell you what, I will come back to these 3 groups. So let me rotate out. To sometimes poverty and then gender. Okay, so I repeat, students. Okay, in today's class, there will be 3 topics: poverty. All right, there are about 8 of you, and then responsible consumption, 8 of you, and then gender. All right, yeah, there are 3 topics, so I'll rotate these 3. And then I want to take a look at your group slides as well. So here's another example, right? They quote Mr. Tan Jun Mok. This is about poverty. All right, citizens do not have basic needs. Can't meet the basic needs. 74% elderly Singaporeans suffering from poverty. Poverty in Singapore, 43%. In Singapore, there is apparently no official poverty line. There's no official poverty line, but we do know that families or individuals who earn below 1,000 or 1,500, that's considered barely sufficient. Barely sufficient. You can see there's an absence of poverty line in Singapore. You all can see here. So there is no strict, very, very strict definition of poverty. We don't have it. Okay, some other countries, they might have. Of course, there's a wealth gap that's widening over here. Okay, so you need some figures. You need figures and numbers is very critical. Figures and numbers. Okay, sometimes you want to show the top 5% versus the bottom 5% of either individual earning power or of family wealth in Singapore. Okay, and you may even show the gap widening. I may have explained in last week's class, okay, when you say the gap is widening, it's a very simple phenomenon. Why do the rich get richer at the same time? Why do the poor get poorer? Let me explain. It's not surprising. It's not surprising, okay? Let's deal with the partner. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Now, when the poor get poorer, it's very simple. First of all, there are 2 phenomena happening. Your cost of living is going up. Okay, so if you go out to buy food, you go out to supermarkets, you go out to maybe hawker centers, or you find the cost of food. Actually, cost of food has gone up, cost of vegetables, food supplies. Maybe there's a restricted supply from Malaysia during COVID. Okay, that's one possible reason. Food supplies from Malaysia or Australia, some restriction of food supplies. And whenever the supply goes down, if you take economics, you have some friends who take economics in junior college. This is one of the first things they learn, demand and supply. So when supply goes down and your demand is still consistent the same, you eat the same amount of vegetables every day, all right, but the supply of vegetables actually reduced from Malaysia because of COVID. Very naturally, the prices go up. Okay, so whenever the demand, even if the demand is consistent, but your supply of the food coming in from Malaysia, let's say it's restricted supply, COVID, pandemic, whatever, prices go up. Now, prices go up. But you look at your salary, you look at your earning power of the family. Did someone get retrenched? If they remain employed, is the salary the same? If the salary remains the same, or they still continue to remain unemployed, right? Or they continue working, but there is no increase in salary, right? So what we call wage stagnation, same salary, but you have the price inflation. When you put these 2 together, what happens? The same amount of money, right? They will buy less. They can afford less. Because purchasing power has reduced. All right. So when purchasing power reduces, actually explains this part why the poor get poorer. Now, for the rich, why do the rich get richer? Now, always remember, actually, if you're looking at the top percentage of earners here, some of them actually, a majority of them have multiple streams of income, multiple sources of income. So they don't just go to work and depend on a particular job. For example, they have what we call wealth generating assets. What is a wealth generating asset? Well, they could have earned multiple properties. They could be collecting rental income. They could have purchased quite a lot of stocks and dividends, right? So dividends is another form of income that come with the purchase of stocks. So for the very wealthy classes, it's not just depending on one particular salary from one particular job, right? They have already invested in many other assets, and that includes multiple properties, rental income, invested into stocks, and then getting dividends income and stuff like that. Okay. For recommendations, okay, so I'll just zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'll just zoom out a little bit and help you all to recall back your question. Okay, I hope you have not forgotten on your target group. Okay, so the first part, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Now, question 2 and 3, remember you have 2 students. The first and second student here, okay, their nickname, always remember the nickname, they're called troublemakers. Now, these 2 troublemakers, okay, they actually complain a lot and they criticize a lot. Let me repeat. These two troublemakers, the hobby, right? The hobby is to complain and criticize. Why? Any policy or project you look at, any policy, any project, any framework, okay, they actually look at limitation. What is the meaning of limitations? Limitations means the first two students here, right, we call them the troublemakers who complain and they criticize essentially on why this policy or why this project, okay, why this framework or why this legislation, right? Why is it inadequate? Why is it insufficient? Why is it ineffective? Why is it inefficient? You can see all the words here. Okay, so in a sense, they actually poke holes. You find existing measure, existing project, existing limitation can be scheme, can be anything, can be CPF, right? It can be the current financial schemes, it can be it can even be GST vouchers, it can be project, it can be legislation. Okay, but the first two students, your mindset and your framework, remember your nickname, okay? Nickname, they are troublemakers, first of all. They always poke holes, right? Look for trouble, look for problems, look for challenges. They focus very much on the limitation, meaning they actually focus on why is inadequate, why is insufficient, why is ineffective, why is inefficient. So people call them actually, wow, why you criticize so much? Yeah, why you complain so much? That is their job. First two students, you actually have a very pessimistic outlook. Complain a lot, poke a lot of holes, criticize a lot, right? Now for the third and fourth and fifth student, okay, the nickname that we give them is Superman. Remember Superman nickname, right? Superman, your job actually is to go and solve and improve. Superman, solve and improve, right, on all these issues. The first two students already created so many opportunities for you. See why the first two students you need to focus on limitation, inadequacy, insufficiency, ineffectiveness, right? You focus on this so that you create opportunity for the Superman to come in to solve. Superman, your job is to solve, find solution, and improve. Okay, now if you look at the Superman, right, the third and fourth student, sometimes you have a fifth student. Supermen are very optimistic, right, very positive. It's very different from first two. First two, they're very negative, everything negative. Okay, complain, criticize, find trouble, poke holes, explain limitation. Superman, your job, right? You solve, you recommend, you improve. Now look at the job of the Superman. Actually, Superman has three choices. Listen carefully. This first choice is difficult. For Superman to come up with a brand new initiative is very difficult. Okay? Very difficult. Not easy, no. You can design and conceptualize a brand new solution. It's not easy. A lot of Supermen, they take this second approach. Please explain something in Singapore is existing. Currently existing in Singapore is a project, is a framework, is a legislation, is a rule. Superman, please improve on it. Modification, what is modification? Improve. Okay, so it is possible that the first two students here, if they talk about CPF and they were explaining the inadequacy of the CPF, oh, CPF is inadequate, is insufficient, is ineffective, is inefficient, okay, it is possible for the Superman to come back here and reinforce the idea of CPF, but you improve on it. Because the first two students, the troublemakers, right, already gave you so many reasons. They are already poking holes, criticizing, complaining, CPF inadequate, insufficient, ineffective, and so on, inefficient. So therefore, Superman, one way is you come in and you still continue on the CPF topic, you improve on it. Okay, but some Supermen feel that they don't want to talk about the same thing. They don't want to continue the topic from the first two students. Imagine the first two students covered CPF, but the Superman feels that no lah, I don't want to keep repeating. Superman have a third choice, okay, and this is called copycat. This copycat over here, if you look, Superman looks at another country overseas. Okay, you look at another country overseas, right, and explain it. Okay, so the Canadians have done this. So Canada, Australia, UK, Japan, Germany, Finland, Switzerland, they have this project, that project, this scheme, that scheme, financial incentives here and there, right? And you do a copycat version. You explain first what the other country is doing, and you strongly recommend, Superman strongly recommend that Singapore government or Singapore ministry adapt and adopt. You adapt it, you adopt it for the Singapore framework. It's very simple. Okay, for this approach, it's also very popular among the Superman. We call it copycat Superman. Superman look at what another country has done with regards to women's right, how you help the women, with regards to recycling, right, responsible consumption, recycling, responsible consumption of water is included, electricity is included, plastics, aluminium, waste, garbage disposal, food waste is all included. Responsible consumption. And also poverty. What do other countries do to help the poor? Okay, so another foreign country, what are they doing? You explain first. Okay, Switzerland is doing this to help the poor. Australia is doing this to help the women. Okay, USA is doing this and that to recycle more, to conserve and save water, conserve save electricity. And therefore, we want to recommend that the Singapore government adapt the overseas framework, adapt and adopt it, right? For the Singapore context, let's have a hybrid model. Okay, so usually when Singapore implements it, there may be some ideas or some features that we can take from overseas country because what? Because it was quite successful overseas, right? Because the overseas citizens welcome it. If you think the Australians, either the Australians or the British or the Americans or the Germans or the Japanese, they think it's effective, it worked for them. Okay, so I repeat, for the Superman in this class, there is the third student, fourth student, fifth student, you have actually 3 different approaches. The first approach is difficult. For you to conceptualize a brand new initiative, that is difficult. Very few students do it, but you can. Second approach is very, very popular among all the Supermen in this class. What are some of the existing projects in Singapore? You go improve on it. You suggest how it can be made even better, right? The projects in Singapore, it may be the same as the first 2 students over here, the first 2, what we call complaint king and queen, the troublemaker. It can also be different. Okay, so it's up to you. It can be the same, it can be different. It's really up to you. All right, so as I quoted, if the first 2 students talk about CPF, then does the third and fourth student, do they still want to talk about CPF? Now, it depends. If they want to talk about CPF, yes, they can. They improve on it. If they don't want to, they look at what some other countries have done. Okay, now having said this, okay, please don't forget about your target groups. Target groups, usually it can be, 2 slides, 3 slides, 1 slide. Don't forget. If you forget, your whole group do very, very badly. There's one question here. As I said, the third student should do this. Whoever is the third student, who are the target groups in Singapore? What are the challenges faced by this target group? It's quite short. It can be 2 slides usually, okay? 2 slides, sometimes 3 slides. Okay, target groups are all over here. Look at poverty group, look at the gender inequality group, and look at the responsible consumption. Okay, you cannot target 6 million Singaporeans. So what kind of Singaporeans do you target? I mean, who is at risk of poverty? Actually, you know the answer. Who is at risk of poverty? Those who are unemployed. Even professionals who are retrenched, they were previously working, now they're jobless. Low-wage workers, low-wage and blue-collar workers, there are 2 industries that are singled out. Okay, the security guard industry. Security guard industry is being singled out even in the newspapers for very long hours and low pay. Okay, what kind of jobs gives you very long hours? You are at work for a very long time and very low pay. Security guard, okay, is one of those. All right, the other one is cleaner. So whether it's food court cleaners, toilet cleaners, some of you even feel for hotels also they don't pay that well. If you need to do laundry services, you clean the hotel rooms. Okay, what they call, they have a special name for that, but they work within the hotels. Imagine you have to clean 50 rooms, 100 rooms a day, right? Vacuuming once the guests check out. Okay, for gender equality here, of course, you cannot target 3 million females. All right, in this island, we have 3 million females. There'll be a lot of females you are not interested to target. You're not going to target the female scientist, the female doctor or lawyer who earns, 500,000 a year, right? You actually want to target women. Single moms are always single. They have a very difficult time. A lot of single mothers, well, they cannot work full time. You know the reason, right? They're looking after a child. They have domestic responsibilities. Okay, so we're looking at single mothers who don't really have family support and they're working part-time. So when they work part-time, the income is compromised. And you know the reason why they're working part-time, because they're also looking after a child or infant. All right, low-wage workers, less skilled females, older females, housewives. Okay, so please explain the group of women in Singapore that you actually target to help them, right? Why do you target to help this group of women in the first place? And why do you target to help this group of unemployed PMEs, older workers, part-timers, gig economy, there's no CPF? Because in the first place, they face a lot of challenges. The challenges that Singaporeans faces, the challenges that Singapore faces, the challenges that Singaporean faces, okay, of course, it's very close. These challenges here, Okay, it's very close to these challenges here. It's very close. If you find that you need to repeat, if this partner, this student here, this third student, if you find that you need to repeat some of the challenges over here, please feel free to go ahead and repeat. There is nothing wrong. Okay, we're not going to fail you just because your challenges here are very similar to challenges here. In fact, it's very similar. Most of the time, the challenges faced by the women, challenges faced by the retrenched workers, challenges faced by your HDB residents or your students or teachers in geography or environmental CCA, very often the challenges faced by them is similar or there's a big overlap with the challenges faced by Singaporeans. Okay, so don't worry. Don't worry and don't need to feel so stressed. Oh no, I have 5 slides here for challenges. What am I going to say here? If you find there is a repetition, there is an overlap, a big overlap, a small overlap, don't worry, because after all, this word is repeated twice. Challenges, challenges. Okay, can so for responsible consumption, again, don't target 6 million Singaporeans. I mean, who are they? HDB residents, right? Still students, teachers who do geography. Geography is a large department in NUS, right? We have students who take 3 years bachelor's degree in geography at NUS, right? They will be very interested in responsible consumption and so on. Are there any questions right now, students? Okay, I tell you what, we look very quickly at your slides. All right, and then we come back. Now we come back, as you can see over here, before I go off, this under poverty eradication, right? You look under recommendations, students. Suddenly, United Kingdom is here. Can you see not? Right, suddenly Finland is here. So don't be too confused. All right, but another group may put HDB housing, rental housing for the poor. HDB rental housing for the poor, and then something about what the United Kingdom does, something about what Finland does. All right, nothing wrong because as you heard me just now, for Superman who are in charge of the recommendations, they have 3 different approach. First approach, conceptualize something brand new. Second approach, look at what Singapore is doing. All right, is it HDB? Is it GST voucher included? No, GST voucher, Comcare subsidies, right? And then third approach is what other countries are doing, but you must adapt it and adopt it. Oh, Finland is doing this. We suggest that, Singapore implement which features of the Finland model. United Kingdom is doing this and that for the low income. Okay, we highly recommend that Singapore, okay, is it HDB, is it Ministry of Finance, right? Try to implement which features, right, to actually help out. Right, minimum wage. Students, this minimum wage, I think, is important for women, gender inequality, women who earn very little, and also the poverty group. Let me explain minimum wage for the last time. Singapore does not have minimum wage legislation. I repeat, Singapore does not have minimum wage legislation. We don't have. Okay, what Singapore has is actually minimum wage guideline or minimum wage guidelines. Okay, meaning that we encourage employers, right, and companies to please pay, your security guards, please pay your cleaners at least, okay, 1,000, 1,200. Okay, you shouldn't be paying them 800 or 900. Please pay them at least 1,000 plus. All right, but it is a guideline, meaning that if the boss or the employer, right, still ends up paying $999 to the cleaner, security guard, and so on, then they cannot bring the employer to court. They cannot sue the bosses. They cannot sue the company. It is not illegal because have you all heard of this phrase called willing seller, willing buyer? At a job interview, you agreed to this pay of $999. The boss says okay, right? The cleaner, the staff says okay. So it is not illegal because both sides agreed to this, right? So in Singapore, as I repeat, it's not legislated. You cannot sue your boss, you cannot sue your employer because they pay you $99. But overseas, in overseas country where minimum wage legislation has already been implemented, then it becomes illegal. Then the human resource and the finance, the boss and the company, if they pay below minimum wage, then they are liable for prosecution in court. Okay, I repeat, overseas where minimum wage legislation is already implemented. Legislation means the law. The law has been passed. And if any company still insists to pay below minimum wage, then obviously, okay, they are at very, very high risk, right, of legal proceedings, very high risk of prosecution in court because you contravene the rule, right? The rule, the law, the legislation already tell you this is the minimum wage for this country, you pay below that. Okay, so for Singapore, there are a lot of advocates, a lot of groups, even Pritam Singh here, so there's advocacy, all right, hoping that one day in Singapore, at some point in future, can we please implement the minimum wage legislation or not? Okay, as of today, students, I repeat for the last time, Singapore does not have minimum wage legislation. We don't have. Okay, Hong Kong has it, Australia has it, Canada has it, USA has it, many countries have it. Singapore, we don't have. What we have are minimum wage guidelines. It's a soft approach using a carrot kind of a very soft approach. Okay, guidelines are different from legislation. Okay, it's something like, how should I say? It's something like in Singapore, oh, the guideline is you should look after your parents when they're old. Okay, it's always like a guideline, a filial piety guideline. Remember to look after your parents when they're old. This is a guideline. Now, only until Professor Walter Woon got was elected member at that point in time, then he implemented a legislation. It's called Maintenance of Parents Act. That one is legislated. Okay, so Maintenance of Parents Act actually is a piece of legislation where parents can bring the children to court. If the children, don't even help out with 5 cents, you don't even help out with 5 cents, or you just totally disappear, you're not in contact with parents, kind of thing. If the parent decide to pursue this piece of legislation, is available. Okay, to get some maintenance money, what you call pocket money from the grown-up children. We're not talking about like teenagers like you, but grown-up children in the 40s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And they don't even support 5 cents to the elderly parents who are maybe 80 or 90 years old already. Okay, so students, there is a difference between legislation versus guideline. Okay, okay, maybe just one more, right? Just go for, if we look at gender. Okay, before we open up the slides, inside of the MS Teams, if you actually look for gender, right? If you look at all these schemes, it can be done by both the first two students. Okay, the first two students, if you actually look at all these schemes, current schemes, the approach, okay, is to look for limitation, right? And the 4 areas. Okay, so why is it inadequate? Okay, why is it insufficient? Why is it ineffective? Why is it inefficient? So inadequate, insufficiency, okay, then ineffectiveness and inadequacy. So these come under limitation. Now, if you actually look at some of these measures, can it be done by the 4th and the 5th student? Yes, it is possible. Okay, it is possible that some of these measures are also covered after the first 2 students who have done so much of this criticism, limitation, inadequacy, inefficiency, right? So the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th student, when they come in, it is possible they can continue on the same topic, but the approach is very different. Okay, the approach is on improving it as a solution. Okay, so you can see this group is very clear. For whatever scheme the first 2 students did, there is a very large segment on limitation. Actually, all these schemes sounds very helpful. Okay, all these schemes are to help the existing women. Okay, I am not surprised if the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th student, they also use the same scheme. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, as I did say already, but the first 2 students, you look at the approach, they explain the limitation. Okay, limitations, as I say already, first 2 students, what is your job? Criticize, complain, explain why it's insufficient, explain why it's inadequate, why is it ineffective. Okay, okay, first 2 students. So because of so much challenges, difficulty, limitations, right? So much criticism. You actually create, the first 2 students, the troublemakers, you create the opportunity, you pave the road for the Superman to come in and please solve some of these issues, because you really complain so much, you criticize so much already. All right, so then when the Superman comes in, okay, so target audience, Okay, even maternity leave. Have you all seen maternity leave, parental leave in Singapore? For the male, male is called paternity. Paternity leave, a lot of people are laughing. In Singapore, I believe it's still 3 days. 3 days mean for the fathers. Okay, when there's a newborn baby, of course the moms, I think they get 3 months. I believe they get 3 months. It used to be 1 month. Okay, so the mothers get 3 months. But you go and search on it. I think the fathers get 3 days or 5 days. I'm not very sure. I mean, what is 3 days or 5 days? It's literally a joke, right? For the mothers, if they give birth through cesarean is actually quite a major surgery. Not every mother is able to give birth on through a normal birth. Mothers who give birth through cesarean are very not quite a major surgery in that sense. You think the mother can recover in 3 days? After the father goes back to work after 3 days on after paternity leave. So it's a major joke. It has made some headlines before, right? So at this point, actually, some students, you just compare overseas. Just compare to Finland, okay, Sweden, you know, Australia, US. Look at the kind of maternity leave that they have actually for the women overseas, for the more well-to-do countries, wealthy countries, okay, not all. They can get 6 months. They can get 6 months off. They can get 1 year off. It can be quite long. All right, it can be quite long. In Singapore now, I think 3 months is quite okay. But for a very long time, for a very, very long time in Singapore, maternity leave for the mother used to be only 1 month. Used to be only 1 month, okay? And some mothers will tell you it's barely enough. Yeah, depending. Okay, so target groups, please don't forget something like that. Okay, don't forget who do you target. But I think this working women, this one is not good. If you ask me, it can be improved. Okay, working women, there are some very, very successful, working women, you know, if they earn 200,000 a year, they earn 500,000 a year. I don't think you want to target them. I'm serious. Okay, because working professional women, they are very, very independent. I don't think you want to target them. You actually want to target low wage working women, low wages. Okay, so those who earn what, $900 a month, those who are retrenched, those gig economy, they can't get a job, jobless, low wage, low skill, and so on. Okay, this group references, final call, right? References is a must. Okay, I mean, you don't have to be crazy like this group. Some of you say, wow, crazy, so many. Yeah, I agree, kind of crazy. But you don't have to go to this extent. I think every group at least maybe 3 slides. You want to have 5 slides, nobody's stopping you. Okay, so recommendations is very, very important. I think that for every group, you cannot just put one student on recommendation. It's not enough. Okay, let me repeat. Recommendation is very, very important. Minimum 2 students over there. Minimum 2 students. Currently, if you ask one student to do it, I'm telling you it's not enough. It's also not fair to him or her. I want to recommend, if you have one student, it should be 3rd and 4th student on recommendation. So whoever who is doing your target group, okay, please come out to help the 4th student on recommendation. Okay, whoever doing target group is usually about 3 slides only. Please come out and help your Superman on recommendation. Now, if there are 5 of you, is better. If there are 5 of you, look at this class. Okay, this group, Safik here, all the way to Iwei, there are 5. Okay, Julian, all the way to Anton, there are 5. Okay, then you all find that, okay, you know, we can have somebody target group over here, we have 2% recommendations. But if there are 4 of you, all this group 4 only. Gladys all the way to Joanna 4. Okay, Effa all the way to Phyllis also 4%. So if there are 4 of you, okay, remember, you don't leave one person there dying. Just leave him or her to die under recommendations. It requires a lot of work here. If there are only 4 of you, I insist, whoever who is that person, okay, doing target group, you must come out and help on recommendation. It can also be if somebody over here volunteer to help the first 2 students, right? If any one of you volunteer to help out on recommendation, yes, you can. Okay, just remember my point. Recommendation, it cannot be one student. Okay, it's too much work. It's unfair to that person. Also, you run the risk. Of your recommendations being done very badly. Okay, because every student has a different ability. You put one student there, if that student is not strong, as a very weak student, your whole group becomes very weak. Okay, I said many times really, recommendation, we need minimum 2 students. Okay, who is that second student? If there are 5 of you, it's fine. If there are 4 of you, please make sure somebody, okay, from the first 2 or somebody from the target group, okay, you come and help this person on recommendations. Let's look at responsible consumption. Then I want to open up your slides. Now, students, when I open your slides, you will make sure there's something for me to see. Okay, responsible consumption, right? In the first part, when you actually look for challenges, okay, this one is very short. Okay, this one is very short. Students, if you have 20 slides as a group, your group cannot do well. Okay, it's very short, 20 slides, and there are 5 of you, it's like 1 person, 4 slides, it's very short. So try to have more slides. You can expand out your ideas, try not to squeeze. Try not to squeeze. Okay, slides idea you can expand out. Okay, you don't squeeze. Right, if you are squeezing, why not you move on to the next slide? It's free of charge. Go to the next slide, it's free. 20 slides is really way too little. Okay, I think every group you should have at least 25, 30. You can see that many groups, they actually go on to 30, 40, 50 slides. You know, try to show you all the nicer ones. If I look at this, you know, space out and make sure you have your diagrams and so on. This group easily up to 40 slides. 40 slides is common or 30 plus to 40 slides. So space out your slides. Okay, so if I have my second student over here, okay, I can actually talk about recycling. I can talk about food waste. All right, for responsible consumption, I can talk about plastic. How do I reduce plastic waste? How can I reduce the food waste? Food waste is a very popular area. How can I improve on my recycling? All right, there are many groups who even do how can I save water, water conservation. Don't waste water. Okay, and also electricity. For responsible consumption is important to focus on the renewable sources for the electricity, renewable sources. Okay, so moving on towards the solar panels. Okay, so there are many ideas. You can see here plastics. There are many ways to reduce the plastic usage. It's quite high, whether in bottles or supermarket bags, and then the food waste. Have to reduce that. Okay, recycling rate, of course, definitely you have to improve on it. Okay, and of course I give you 2 more ideas. Okay, to save electricity. To save electricity, that's number 1, responsible consumption of resources, and number 2 is to pivot and move towards solar energy. Okay, so other than electricity, I think the next one is water. Okay, so I think you all can come up with some diagrams. Diagrams are very important. Okay, diagrams are very important, and waste management itself is also interesting topic. Waste management. Okay, so food waste, plastic, recycling, save electricity, move towards solar energy, right? Save water, and also new water, what we call recycled water. Waste management, we incinerate a lot. In Singapore, there's a lot of burning. You burn so much, at the end of the day, also we are filling up Pulau Semakau. All right, so it is anything that you burn, once you incinerate, it's extremely pollutive. Anything that you burn. Many countries we are still burning, we're incinerating. It's very pollutive. It can never beat recycling, for example. So you release a lot of carbon. Whenever you burn, you incinerate, you release carbon. When you release carbon, you know, in a way that's the end of the earth, right? All right, carbon emissions, people asking you reduce your carbon footprint. Okay, save the earth, right? Global warming is terrible. I mean, environmentally, it's a disaster for every country to continue on carbon emissions, right? Incineration. Okay, so many measures over here. I think this is very well done for this particular project. Okay, how can we reduce food waste? Can we get people to recycle more? Can we get them to bring plastic bags? Zero waste master plans, and some very innovative approaches. You can have your reverse vending machines. Okay, so I hope you're sort of taking some pictures. Students promise me whatever photographs that you take in your phone, it must remain your phone. Okay, it is really some kind of a warning. All right, that if you release the photographs, you send it right to I don't know who, anyone in Ian, you release it on your TikTok, your WhatsApp, Snapchat, I don't know, WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever, you are not respecting the copyright of the seniors. All these are done by senior teams. Okay, they are at least 1 year older than you, sometimes 2 years older than you. I think they don't mind sharing. They already graduated from Nian. Okay, so they don't mind sharing. And some of these slides, I've modified it so the copyright belongs to me and your seniors. Whatever photographs that you take, it remains 100% in your phone. You cannot share. Okay, you cannot share with anyone else. It doesn't leave your phone. It's strictly for your personal consumption, for your educational purpose. Okay, student, is very serious because if you release from your phone, and there are many ways you release, you can put on social media, you can share with a friend in Yan, and that friend will share with 10 others. You get into very serious trouble. Okay, you get your whole group into trouble, and you get me into trouble. Okay, whatever photographs you can take, okay, allow you to take, it remains in your phone for personal consumption. Okay, personal consumption. Okay, so now I think we just take a very quick look at all the teams. It's 9:30. Okay, 9:30, so I'll just go down the teams and let me know if you have any question. Okay, so for every team, I'll just very quickly look at your team task log. If you have something 15 minutes ago, 29 minutes ago, I'll just try to click on the latest one. Okay, so every group, I'll just very quickly open your team task log and just very quickly have a sneak peek at your PowerPoint. I know it's half done. It's half done, it's 3/4 done, it's 1/3 done, but I really hope it's not like 10% done. Students, your deadline is next Monday. Next Monday, everybody submits. Okay, ideal is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. But if you want to submit at lunchtime, I'll allow lunchtime 12 noon to 1 p.m. Okay, that is possibly about the latest 12 noon to 1 p.m. Okay, so please make sure you are on target. So for this group on Doreen, Yanshan, Joey, Wei Fen, and Li Jin, 15 minutes ago, I'll just click lah. Okay, yeah, usually I'll just click the latest files. So if you have multiple files, then I'll just click the latest files. Okay, so I think this one over here, it looks okay lah. You have your name. Yeah, you need the full names. You need the full names over here. How come your names are missing? Full names. It's quite scary. Let me see whether you all put your names below or not. Please type in the full names of everyone in your team. And then don't have anything missing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is somebody missing in this group? Can you all please take a photograph? For this group, Doreen, Yanshan, Joey, Wei Fen, Li Qin, take a photograph right now. Take a photograph right now and then just type it in. Don't have anybody missing. Okay, and then your student number, which is optional. Just make sure you type the full name. Type the full name. Okay. I think somebody is not here. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. You all can figure out. I think your group has 5 person. Your group have 5 person. 1 person not here. That person is going to fail. Okay, so don't do things like that. Can I insist? Can I have the 5 names over here? And over here, these are your 5 names as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want the 5 names inside over here. Okay. So this part, I think you're quite okay. Please fill up quickly. Don't waste time already. Can I have every line filled up? Okay, don't leave any more blanks. Put in your own dates. Today is 10 January. You can put 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Your group is submitting on 17. Just put any date you wish. It is not cast in stone. You can change every 1 hour, half an hour. Don't leave blanks. 100% all the way. Don't leave any blanks. When you leave blanks, it looks like it's not done. Okay, for this group, I insist you have to meet. You have to meet 10:05 today or 10 o'clock today. You meet 10 o'clock. Complete every single row. Don't leave any blank. Okay, don't leave any blanks. 1 person here is missing. That person is going to fail. I repeat, okay, that 1 person missing in this group, can you all just type in his name or her name unless you all want him or her to fail? Okay, so I think this part is quite okay. Then I'll just move on to the next one. Okay, students, do not leave any blanks. If you're not sure, just type something first and tell each other. Okay, most welcome to change every 5 minutes. It is not cast in stone, so don't leave any blanks over there. Okay, next one, just have a very quick look. So all groups, you must meet at 10 o'clock. Please meet for at least 1 hour. All groups, you have to meet at 10 o'clock, at least 1 hour, at least 45 minutes, depending on, how fast or how slow is your PowerPoint. Okay. All right. So over here, I think the first few slides is done already. You can see, okay, India, Cambodia, Philippines, all the way is well done already. The first part is done. So for this group, right, congratulations that you don't have to do the first part anymore. Yeah, okay, you don't have to do the first part anymore. It's all settled. Okay, I hope all groups are like that. Okay, I hope all groups are like that. Your first 5 country flags SDG is all resettled. So then you focus on your challenges. Can you please insert another 5 slides on challenges? and existing measures. Okay, so these are the first two students who criticize a lot. Okay, what are some of the measures and challenges? And then this part, target group. So you'll need to fill up more lah. So for recommendations, I need at least 2 or 3 slides. Yeah. Okay, so for this group, I think a lot more work has to be done. Please meet at 10 o'clock. All right, I might dismiss you all a bit earlier at depending, maybe 9:50. Okay, so I make it compulsory for all groups. Please try to fill up. All right, try to fill up well, because 7 days is very little time. Okay, 7 days is very, very little time. Next week, Monday morning, you are submitting already. So some group, if you're slower, you can even meet for 2 hours. Okay, you can talk and type at the same time. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no right or wrong answer. All right, often whatever you type in, it is correct. Okay, there is no right or wrong answer for poverty, for gender, for consumption. Just find a topic and talk about it. Okay, so this group, I think you need to meet for at least 1 to 2 hours. At least 1 to 2 hours. You can talk and type at the same time. Okay, under poverty, right? Let me just show you something under poverty eradication. Okay, I hope you all are taking photographs. Okay, poverty eradication, right? If you actually look at some of the schemes in Singapore, okay, this one is not bad. Okay, right, you can actually have you can talk about HDB rental scheme is a huge help, all right, to family. Okay, you can talk about ComCare, you can talk about GST vouchers, you can talk about bursaries, you can talk about any of the policies under Ministry of Social Family Development. Okay, the first two students, when you talk about these topics, remember your job is to criticize, to find limitation, explain why it is inadequate, ineffective, insufficient, and so on. Is very negative, the first two students. Okay, so please take a picture here for the first group. All right, I expect you to be taking pictures. If you have no idea what to do, you should just be taking pictures. For the recommendations, you can talk about how you want to improve currently on HDB rental housing, how you want to improve on ComCare, how you want to improve on any of the projects or Ministry of Social Development. Okay, or you can be a second kind of Superman, which what I called the copycat Superman just now. Just now, what did I say, Superman? So many times I repeat. You are welcome to adapt ideas from a different country. Right? How do the Australians help the homeless? What do the British do? UK, right? Germany, Japan, USA, Canada. What do they do to help those in poverty? You explain their project, you explain their initiative, their funding, and you talk about how Singapore can adopt some of these features. Just say that Singapore should adopt which feature. What is it about the overseas country that you like? Right, the way they help the women, the way they assist the women, the way they solve the increased recycling, right? The way they reduce plastic, the way they reduce food waste, and the way that they solve poverty. Which features do you like? Why should Singapore adopt it? Right, just say Singapore should adopt it because it has been very effective overseas. That is fine as well. Okay, so this is for poverty. Okay, poverty, even ComCare itself is a very, very broad area. Even ComCare is a very, very broad area. Okay, and to actually look at some of the kind of resident housing that's available, right? Many students will talk about GST credit. GST credit is very important for families in poverty, very, very important. May talk about utility rebate, electrical utility rebate. You may talk about even bursary, MOE bursary grants, not scholarship, but bursary. Bursary are financial aid given to students regardless of their school results. Okay, I repeat. Scholarship is always based on school result. Okay, you must get A, you get scholarship. Bursary is not. In bursaries, they don't even look at the school result at all. They just see if a family is low income, right? If your family is low income, then you are eligible for this bursary based on the income ceiling of the family. They don't even look at what your academic grades are like. Okay, right? Let me show you another group on poverty. Okay, it's poverty. I think I take this chance to show poverty eradication. Okay, on poverty eradication here. Okay, maybe show you another group. Okay, let's try to find. Okay, on poverty eradication, of course, I assume all countries are done. So again, we need some statistics. We need some stats. Singapore, it is indeed one of the most expensive countries to live in. If you look at the world's most expensive cities, the past few years, Singapore is ranked second. We are tied with Switzerland. So Switzerland or Paris, I can't remember. Okay, we are as expensive as Switzerland, Paris. In many years, we are more expensive than Tokyo and New York. Singapore is indeed a very, very expensive city. Please get some statistics out. Okay, and then we look at many campaigns, students, whether it's ComCare, as I said, CPF, GST vouchers, bursaries by MOE, utilities rebates, so many campaigns, so many projects, so many funding. Okay, so the first two, students, when you look at it, remember, complain, criticize, poke holes, look at the limitation, why it's inadequate, why it's insufficient, why it's ineffective. Okay, can so as I said, if you want, you can take photos here. It doesn't leave your phone. Any photos that you take in this class, it doesn't leave your phone. So $10 campaign, ComCare initiatives. There's so many initiatives under ComCare, CPF, MediFund, all right, MediShield, all these come under CPF. GST credit, very, very popular. NTUC vouchers, bursaries from the MOE side that is strictly based on helping out low-income families. Limitations, as you can see. Okay, like for example, I just quote you like MediSave. Is you can't just withdraw it. Oh, I go and see a doctor today, $10, I want to withdraw. It's not that easy to just withdraw money out for your MediSave. There are a lot of limitations or restrictions as to how you can use it. CPF, you only use it for housing. It's not like I'm very poor now, I'm dying, I'm starving, I need money, I can just withdraw money from my CPF. There are quite specific usage. Okay, use it for housing, use it for school fees. Okay, and so on. So CPF is not something like it's my piggy bank, I want to use it to buy my lunch today. It's not that simple. So these are limitations. Okay, very, very specific. Is for studies. If you want to study overseas in Australia, UK, you cannot use your parents' CPF. There's a fine line there. Parents' CPF, you can use it for NUS, NTU, SMU, SIM, local universities. Okay, but CPF, you cannot use it for you to study in Australia or for you to study overseas. So this is one of those fine lines again. There are very strict rules on the usage of CPF. Okay. Yeah, so mom and dad can use it for local universities. They can never use it to send you to overseas universities. Very different. Okay, so target groups here, and then you have some recommendations here, and you can see recommendations here. They may want to repeat the ideas in the front. Okay, the two Superman behind, you may say, no lah, I'm not going to repeat. I'm just going to do something quite different. Okay, I want to look at, Merdaka Pioneer Generation Package. This is very, very interesting. Pioneer Generation Package, Merdaka Generation Package, Silver Support Schemes. There are many, many schemes. Many schemes in Singapore. Okay, up to you to just be explainer. Okay, let me look at the next two groups. Okay, I just want to have a sneak peek, students, and make sure I can see, because I'm just afraid you all don't post. You all don't post, I see nothing. I think I'll just, this one's a link, that's fine. Okay, you just post a link. Students, can you give me access? I'm requesting access to sorry. Let me change my Google. You see, I'm like you all at it. Okay, all students, make sure you give me access at LHL9, LHL Lee Hsien Loong. Imagine I'm Lee Hsien Loong. Okay, LHL9 at mp.edu.sg. Let me try one more time. Okay, what is my email or Neon access? LHL9 at np.edu.sg. LHL9 at np.edu.sg. Now I can see, thank you very much. Okay, so you can see the groups here for poverty. Okay, Malika, Gladys, Joanna, and Edward, there are 4 of them. I think they are almost done with the first part. It's very well done. Okay, you can see the countries is very well done. Yeah, okay, very good effort for this. This one, who's speaker notes, what happened? Speaker notes for this student, please type in at least a few sentences. At least a few sentences, put question mark over here. Quickly get it done. Just even a few sentences, okay? It doesn't have to be a grandmother story there. For Indonesia, can I insist? I want it done by 10:30 today. Go back to your essay. Go back to your China essay, your Malawi essay, your Indonesia essay. Just type a few sentences and you're done. Is this India one by Edward is very well done. Okay, so speaker notes. I want it out by 10:30 today, 10:30 a.m., not 10:30 p.m. Okay, certain things when I ask you to do fast. If you don't do, either you've forgotten and stuff like that. So I see this part by Edward is done already. Students, can I have the name? I will almost insist on every group, I want the name of that student speaking. Okay, we need to have the name of the student speaking. I want to know. Please type under your speaker note so that the staff room we can see, you know, in some groups, sometimes one student is 10 slides. You want to know who is the hardworking one. Okay, and sometimes one student is one slide. Well, we also want to know who is that student who did one slide. Okay, and it's very strange. If you do one slide, good luck to you. How do you speak for 5 minutes on one slide? I don't know. You can figure out. Okay, I would say on the standard basis, you are speaking for 5 minutes. Make sure you have 5 slides, okay? Make sure you have 5 slides. You are speaking for 5 minutes. If you want to squeeze in 7, 8, 9, you can squeeze in 7, 8, 9, up to you. Okay, but if you put in 1 or 2 slides, I'm telling you, it's not enough. Okay, you might fail the whole PowerPoint. Any student in this class, are you crazy? You put in 1 or 2 slides and you're going to talk for 5 minutes. It's very strange, okay? It's very strange, okay? Some examiners will just fail you. They'll just ask you, you are talking for 5 minutes, okay? Every student 5 minutes. Sometimes, you know, you are 4 minutes and a half, that's fine. 5 minutes and a half, that's fine. Approximation 5 minutes. I do not time you. I'm not your PE coach. Don't worry whether you're 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Don't worry if you're 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But my point is, you have been given the instruction, every student in this class, you're talking for 5 minutes, right? Now, anybody, you give me 1 slide, you talk for 5 minutes, I think there's something wrong. Something wrong with you. Okay, so all students, remember, put your name in the speaker notes and just type a few sentences. So, Malika, all right, just for a start, you can even just copy and paste 2 lines and just paste over here first. Okay, you can just copy 1 line from here and then 1 line from here and paste it in. Okay, all students, please learn this trick. Speaker notes, actually, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. No need to reinvent the wheel. If you feel that you are almost going to read out from the slides, for example, I bring this sentence, copy paste, and then this sentence, copy paste. So speaker notes, do fast, don't reinvent the wheel. Can just copy and paste down 1 or 2 lines. MOE financial aid, I think this is fantastic. It can be often is a bursary. All right, ComCare, I think is fantastic. There are so many schemes. Students, ComCare is a very large scheme. Very, very large scheme. There can still be many, many explanations under ComCare. I think you are definitely right on target under ComCare. Okay, you may even want to mention CPF. You may want to mention GST. You may want to mention even just now when you all talk about bursary financial aid, sometimes you may want to mention SINDA. SINDA has its own financial aid. Mendaki has its own financial aid. CDAC is financial aid. Why do I mention SINDA, Mendaki, and CDAC? They really have a lot of money, a lot of financial resources. They really give out a lot of bursaries, right? And it's meant to help Malays. Mendaki help Malays, SINDA help the Indians, and then CDAC help the Chinese. Okay, so there are many, many forms of financial aid in Singapore. Please go through it. Okay, the only difference is that the first 2 students, you actually focus on why it might be insufficient. It might be inadequate. It might be difficult to apply. The scheme is there, the aid is there, but the application, the eligibility, there are people who apply and they're rejected. Because very stringent eligibility. It's like, oh, you earn 1,500. Sorry, you cannot, you're not eligible. Only for those who earn 1,100 below. So eligibility criteria, application. Talk about that. Target groups, I think, just put it in very quickly. Okay, just explain. Poverty. You can actually just put there low wage earners. Okay, elderly is one of the low wage earners. You can even put in low wage earners and those who are jobless. Right, or you can explain why elderly, they tend to be at very high risk of retrenchment. They tend to be at, earning low wages. They tend to be even in part-time employment. They are not able to get full-time employment because of the health, because of the age. They're really so old. They may not be able to work a job that's 8 a.m. To 6 p.m. Okay, in fact, if you look at some of the workaholics, you look at how some of the young doctors, working hours, could be 12 hours, 14 hours a day. Doctors, lawyers, after dinner, they continue the work. Even for Neon Poly lecturer, right, on certain days, sometimes after dinner, I doing my work at night until 10 p.m. So you can't expect elderly to be working such long hours, right? Yeah, so you explain. Low wages, high risk of retrenchment, most of them are part-time because of health, and also skills upgrade. They need skills upgrading. Actually, they are eligible for skills future, no? So maybe the Superman, The Superman, the challenges, you just go and grab some ideas from the front. The first 2 students will have the challenges of Singaporeans, right? Pandemic, you can even put in there, pandemic, a lot of jobs are lost. Okay, and then recommendations, I'll leave it to you lah. So many recommendations in Singapore. Okay, whether it's CPF, GST credit, Pioneer Generation Package, Merdaka Generation Package, Comcare, this fund, that fund. If you really want to focus on elderly, then I think Pioneer Generation Package, Merdaka Generation Package, Silver supports so many schemes. Just go and Google. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. All right, even if you want to increase CPF, increase 1 percentage point for elderly. Okay, go and Google the news. CPF recently increased 1 extra percentage point. So extra savings only for the elderly, where the company employer, they must pay extra 1% for elderly. It's all in the news. Okay, it's all in the news, but you may feel that, well, 1% not enough. Your group can always suggest 2%. It's really up to you. Okay, so many things that you can do. There are many things you can do. I'll just move on to the next group in the interest of time. Okay, students, I'll go straight for your PowerPoint. For the team task log, I'll leave it to you all. Okay, team task log, please complete by today. I insist all groups have to meet at 10 o'clock. Okay, whether you meet 45 minutes, 1 hour, or even 2 hours, please get it done. Okay, if you don't do, you regret, because you are submitting next Monday. Your time is very, very tight. This group by Maxwell, Ellen, FR, Phyllis, put in the, how should I say, the full names, okay, because you in Neon, there's another FR, Maxwell, okay, full names. Look at this whole thing, I've sent it to you. I need the full names in. Please go and type here the full names, not just like that. Okay. I repeat, in Neon, there can be 5 Phyllis, 10 FR, 30 Maxwell, and then another 50 Ellen. Full names all in. Okay, I think this part is good. For your country, USA, who is doing USA? It must be out by 10:30 today. Why is the USA flag empty? Why is the USA flag empty? FR Serena, please type in by 10:30 today. Come on, FR Serena, where is your essay? 500 words paste inside here. I'm just kidding. 500 paste in, press delete button, FR Serena. Okay, USA out by 10:30 today. Okay, no more delay. I told you all to finish it by last Monday night. Any country flag today not done, I want it in by 10:30 a.m., not p.m. Okay, open up your essay. Okay, essay open, paste 500 in. 500 words in. It's not difficult. Don't really need to crack your brains. Food waste is very good. It's a fantastic topic. Your focus food waste alone. Is it food waste alone? You all don't want to go for other things, is it? Can this group of students switch on your mic? Is it just food waste alone? So you don't want to handle plastics, you don't want to talk about glass, aluminium, plastic?
No, it's not just food waste alone.
Oh, there's more, is it? There's more coming in, right?
Yeah, there's more. This is the theme of the
very
slide.
broad. Okay, I give you a very broad. You can include plastic waste, how to reduce plastic. You can even include water, how you save water, how you don't consume water, how you recycle water. Can include electricity. Okay, please go and save on electricity, what are the waste. And then when you say recycle electricity, is renewable electricity on solar energy. Then when your plastics come in, you may even do styrofoam, aluminium, glass, whatever waste disposal. Yeah, so far I think all these slides are quite good. They are all quite good. You're definitely on track. Okay, then your 2 Supermans. So all these are challenges. Okay, anything on global warming all comes under challenges. Okay, challenges, basically it threatens the entire ecosystem for Earth. I think your challenges are very long, so we want you to focus more on recommendations. Okay, where's your recommendation? Okay, so for this group, I see that your everything on global warming comes under challenges. Okay, I think it's too long already. You may want to reduce or you may leave it. You have already done, you leave it. Okay, but I think your group need to hurry up on this part. So your challenges is all here. Challenges, limitation, all here. You want to actually focus, and challenges over here as well by this target group. Global warming is faced by everyone. So your global warming will come in here as well as here. Nobody can escape global warming, right? Whether it's Singaporeans or it's target group. But your recommendation, I don't see it. Okay, so for your group, when you meet today, listen to me. Straight away jump in your recommendation first. Okay, so that you don't have a big gap. Recommendation is very, very important. You jump in there first. After your recommendation come out, then you make sure your target group, you don't forget. Okay, global warming, you put under here, challenges, and here. Everybody has global warming, cannot escape. Yeah, and then recommendations, please go and do today. Okay. So your group is good on the front part. but slower on the recommendation part. Okay, do together. You can do together. Yeah, if you can meet 2 hours, why not meet 2 hours and settle it? Okay, students, meet 2 hours and settle. Don't say, oh, this afternoon tonight. There's no more waiting. Next Monday is very scary, you know. Very scary, you know, to submit next Monday morning. Very scary. Over here, I think I don't click on this. Team task log, you all go and settle on your own. Okay, let's look at this group. Under Hugo, this group. Sometimes you all post a few times. Okay, I need to go for my 10 o'clock class, you all know, right? So I'll talk to 2 more groups and that's it really. Okay, I talk to 2 groups and then I rush off for my next class. All right, as I said, I want to insist. Okay, I want to insist that every group, you all meet 10 o'clock. You dismiss 11, you self-dismiss 11. Right, if you're very, very slow, I think you all better meet to 12 o'clock, 12:30. Why not you all meet to 12 o'clock, 12:30 and finish up the whole set of slides? Okay, I'm not kidding, students. Meet 2 hours, 3 hours and finish all the slides together. Okay, don't procrastinate. It's very scary. We are submitting next Monday morning. I think it's fantastic. Okay, infographics, fantastic. First 2, I don't want to look already. You already explained this part. A few more sentences. Students, few more sentences and type in what does SG5 stand for. You look at my Excel already. My Excel has more words than you. It's very bad. Very bad. Okay, where are your target and the bullets? Type in straight away. I give you 1 minute and copy and paste inside. Don't even need to think. Look at my Excel. Look at assessment 2. All the targets are there. Copy and paste. There are at least 3-4 targets for women. Okay, copy and paste. I think this part fine. Glass ceiling is important, work-life balance important, workplace harassment, all these are challenges, very important. This is fantastic. You should have 1 or 2 more slides like this, very important. Okay, all so they have pie chart. So this group is very strong. Okay, on your pie chart, recommendation, target group. Okay, so this group, what is missing? Very scary. Staff room, they can minus off your mark. Your target group is totally missing. Insert straight away, okay? Don't wait, okay? I insist you have 2 to 3 empty slides on target group straight away. That's your top priority. Okay, you go for staff room marking, they'll just give you 1 reason, they minus off your mark. A become B, B become C, C become D. Target group cannot be missing. They really ask you 2 questions on it. I think recommendation, you're quite okay. It's a bit bare, but you're quite okay. Yeah, you're quite okay. Sometimes add in a little picture or what. I think you're fine. Yeah. Okay, can I also
target group though. Slide 14.
Where is it? You all have it under this part.
Slide 14. Slide 14.
14. Oh, funny. Why you all put so far front? Shift. You shift can not? Shift. Shift to the part just before recommendation. Follow here. Follow all students. Challenges first. After challenges, target group. After target group, recommendation. Follow the flow so you all just shift. Okay, last but not least. Okay, the rest of the groups, you all just go breakout room. Everybody go breakout room. You all go self-dismiss at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Okay, I'll just look at this group. After this, I'm rushing out. Okay, all the first 4 groups, you all self-dismiss. I'll just talk to WJS group. Okay, please go straight into your breakout room. Everybody go breakout room. I said WJS group, you all just stay here 1 minute. WJS group, responsible consumption. Okay, this part good already. Where are your 4 countries? Where are the 4 countries? You all hide where?
Below.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Okay, settle already. Wow, very right. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Challenges hurry up by today. Come on. Okay, challenges cannot wait anymore already. For responsible consumption, just talk about global warming, climate change. Okay, why are we wasting so much food? Why is our landfill Pulau Semakau filling up? Just talk about food waste, garbage, plastic, styrofoam. Okay, just talk all about that. You all better do together. Cannot wait already. Target group who? HDB residents. Type in already. Why you all leave blank? Type in already. HDB residents, student taking geography is settled already. Then over here, I think this part recommendations, is it? Over here, is it recommendation? This part may be your target group. No, I'm not sure. You all can organize properly. Is it target group? No, I'm not sure. This part I'm not sure. Okay, this group you all can meet lah. Go and meet, then you all can do lah. I think you have taken a lot of photographs already. Yeah, okay, so this group, you all need a lot of work. I don't know why so many blanks. You all can meet 2 hours. Go and meet 2 to 3 hours. By 12 noon, okay, 11 o'clock, 12 noon, 1 o'clock, you all can do together. All go breakout room now. I go for my